All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can join in. 1 second. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a blessed weekend and happy Sunday, everybody. And getting ready for an awesome new week. So good stuff. So this week we're going to be talking about kind of a whole new topic. We've never talked about this before. And we're going to be talking about day trading Renko, so the Renko charts. And today we're just basically going to explain what they are, and then later in the week we'll get into some strategies, some other concepts, and go from there. So I think you guys will like it. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to check and see where we left off in the market on Friday. And then we're going to take a look at the futures, and we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so here's the SPX, right? So monthly chart. Hugely bullish, right? We completely reclaimed the Corona Cash range right here, and almost a Mariposa candle so far. 1 day left, trading day left in the month. So let's see if they can finish it pretty strong like this. Weekly chart again, a huge Mariposa candle last week as well, right? Remember, this all happened after the Corona crash here, after we had this bullish engulfing week with RSI oversold, right? And that ended up really kind of working its way up here pretty nicely. A little bit of a bull flag right here on the weekly chart working its way up. Now, we do have two gaps below. That's a little ominous going forward, right? We talked about how these open gaps on the weekly charts like to get filled. So that's giving a little bit of gravity right here. And this cloud on the weekly chart is looking a little bit ominous too, right? So we got about 3 months of crazy, what I call cloud canyon right here. Which could lead to some volatility going forward, especially, interestingly enough, how this goes up through November, which is when the elections come in, right? So it could get pretty wild here over the next couple months, but we'll see how that goes going forward. Daily chart. Bullish still proven otherwise, right? Really not much we can say about this. It's over the ADMA, over the upper trend line right here. It's getting a little extended. We got the open gaps here and here that we talked about on the weekly chart, so we'll see how that holds. But as long as we're holding the ADMA, as long as we're holding the upper trend line, right? Bullish still proven otherwise. I like how it's a rising 50 moving average. I like how the 200 moving average is starting to work its way back up. So I mean, it's just full bull territory right here. It's what I call the all-time high frenzy. So lots of stuff going on, right? We have Apple made a split, Tesla made a split, right? So it's a big banana split going on out there, right? So that's pretty interesting to see. Apple prices going to be opening up around the 125 range, unless it just gaps up huge. It might open up in 130 range. And then, of course, Tesla trading in the 400s again, which is just wild, right? So that should be pretty interesting, too. Keep in mind, guys, next week is Labor Day, right? So next Monday, not this Monday, but the next Monday is Labor Day, so the market will be closed that day. So it's very possible that we might see volume kind of drifting off into the end of the week. So ideally, we'll get most of the great trades of the week done early. Of course, anything could set up, anything could happen towards the end of the week, so we'll be there looking at it. But that's just something to keep in mind going forward. Let's take a look at the price action here on the 15-minute chart, so from Friday, right? So you can see it was mostly a choppy day, right? So we gapped up, right? And then we came back down, right? So we filled the closing gap, and once that gap was filled, right, it did its job, worked its way back up, got to the 15-orb high, rejected it, right? It finally got over it and then drifted up, or pushed up pretty decently at the end of the day. These are the levels that we provide to our members before each market open. You can see how valuable those are, right? So we saw that, right? Yesterday's low, the prior day's low, right? And bounced off of those and worked its way up there. So that was a nice move there. And then, of course, through all-time highs to finish the day with all-time highs. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how those are looking this evening. So pretty interesting tonight on the futures. Quite bullish, right? So we have a couple nice levels right here. Let's kind of get going here. So we can see these nice levels right here. Right, looked like we did a wave one up right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, it was what it was looking like just going into the open, but now we're just going to kind of track this and kind of put it here. Right, so as long as wave 3 isn't the shortest wave, like, this is still a valid setup right here. So we'll see how that holds going into tomorrow. Again, generally bullish, obviously, until proven otherwise. Right, so I like how the bulls just kind of stepped up, finished this this impulsive wave up here, and let's just see how that holds going through the rest of the evening. It's kind of kind of chopping around here below these levels. We'll see how this geometric, possible bull flag here holds and where that goes into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so let's take a look at the topic here. Let me get this pulled up. Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about day trading Renko. and we're going to explain this. So what is Renko, right? So these are brick charts, right? It comes from the Japanese candlestick methods, right? It's actually also brought over by Steve Nissan. He kind of pioneered this too. And they're actually not that old, right? They're only like a decade or so old. But it's really cool, right? So Renko comes from the name Renga, which is brick, right, in Japanese. And so we have these bricks, right, that form right here. So they're really, really cool. And what I like about them, right, is like they kind of tune out a lot of the noise, right? So so what are they? So each brick represents a range, right? So within this price range, anything could happen, right? So depending on what time frame you're trading on, we could be up, down, up, down, up, down. But what I like about the Renko is it takes out all that noise, and as long as the Renko is trending, right, is moving, right, you can kind of ignore it. Like a lot of times when we look at the candlesticks, we stare at our P&L intraday, right, and we're like, oh no, it's pulling back, oh this is done. But as long as the Renko bricks are red, right, that means it's basically still bearish, right? And occasionally you get these pullbacks. We'll talk about pullbacks this week, but that is really the concept of it. Now, how big are these bricks, and how do you set them up? So that's kind of the big thing right there. So let's take a look. Futures traders like to trade these ones. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the SPY here. So the SPY looking pretty interesting, right? So obviously it's up here after hours, but so here you can see normally what we see is a let's go to the 5-minute chart here. Oh, I'm sorry, I had the 15 pulled up here. Let's go to the 5-minute chart here. So normally what we see is this, right? So we see upper shadows, lower shadows, right? We talk about this all the time. So what the Renko does is it's basically like let me switch it over. Sorry guys, I didn't switch it over yet. There we go. So here we go. So here's the 5-minute chart. So what so you can see we got upper shadows, lower shadows, upper shadows, lower shadows, right? So it's tough, right? But right in this, right, you're within a range right here, right? And then once it reverses that range, yeah, I got to switch it over, guys. I got to switch it over. Sorry about that. It took me a second. Right, so once it gets to the range, it continues to work its way up. So if you stay within this range of the Renko, even though it pulled back, right, you're still bullish as long as it's green, right? So the way it works is however you have your range set. Let's say it's let's just go ahead and say it's 25 cents on the which is each of these blocks right here. Let's say it's 25 cents on the SPY, right? So here would be like a Renko block, right? Here would be a Renko block, right? Here would be a Renko block, a Renko block, right, and a Renko block, right, and as long as it stays within that range, right, the Renko blocks would stay green, right, and once it starts to pull back out of that range, right, if you get a Renko block down, so you'd have like say maybe like 2 Renkos right here, 2 bearish Renkos, right, and then you'd have a bullish Renko and a bullish Renko and a bullish Renko, right. So you see how that works right there. It doesn't care about the noise and the price action, and so that's kind of a cool way to just look at the charts and be like, hey, I'm bullish as long as the Renkos are green, or bearish as long as they're red. And so so that's the general concept. One way I like to look at it is we've talked about the Darvis boxes in the past. It's kind of like a Darvis box. So let's pull that up here real quick. So Darvis. Okay, and I think we can set some settings on this one, but in general, right, so we have a Darvis box here. So it's kind of like these little Darvis boxes, right? Now, the Darvis box, of course, changes based on highs and lows, but the idea is if you continue to break over these highs, right, it's kind of like a Renko moving, right? It's kind of like, okay, the Renko is here, the Renko is here. This one uses pivots. It's very similar to it, just conceptually, right, except it doesn't expand, on the lows. It just uses the pure range, okay? So how do you set these up? Okay, so it's pretty interesting, right? So you go to you can just go, if you use TradingView, you can just change your chart type, right? You just click on what here, like we have chart types here, candle and all that stuff. We don't have that here in Thinkorswim, so you have to go into the settings, right? So let me pull up the settings right here, and you go to the time axis, and let me get this pulled up so you guys can see it. Hold on, I have to add a source in here. Give me 1 second for the broadcaster. Settings. So give me a second. It's hard to find in here. Chart settings. There we go. We should be able to see this. Okay. So here's the chart settings. Right. You just hit the little gadget, the little gearbox up top here, right? And then you pull these up. Right. You go general, price out, and then time axis. Okay. So what you do is instead of time, right, you switch to range. Okay. And so this is the big concept with Renko, right? So it doesn't care about time, okay? It only cares about price in the range. So so good stuff there, right? So conceptually it's weird, right? Because we're used to looking at candles and how they behave in time, but here all this cares about is price, right? So it takes out the noise, right? And so here it gives you a couple different options right here. So we'll just look at today's chart, right? It's fine, or the last day. We could put 2 days up. It's fine. Here it uses 100 ticks, right? Now ticks can be defined as they can differ, right, depending on what you're using, right? So tick sizes can be like 25 cents, based on the S&P futures, or the actual ticks themselves, right? So each tick is a little bit different. So one of the common ones that's used is ATR. That's your average true range. Okay, so that's the basic concept right there. So it's based on the close of the prior candle. So it just uses an average range on it, right? So it's fine, right? So it just uses that. It's a good way to use it, right? And then you have this drop down right here where it says range bars or Renko bars. We'll talk about range bars this week. Let's go to Renko bars right here, okay? And so I'm gonna hit apply, and then that should adjust the chart to show us our Renko charts. Okay, so pretty cool stuff, right? So throughout the whole time of this, see how it kind of jumps around? It's like 10 o'clock to 10:30. Right, there was a lot of action between 10 and 10:30, but each bar, right, it doesn't care about the time. It just cares about the price range and how it stayed in that range, right? So you can see here is just kind of drifting, just kind of chopping around, right? But then eventually, right, we started to get a drift down right here. So you can see each of these ATRs, and it's using the range right here. The ATR on this one is 10 cents for SPY on the on this time frame. Okay, so you can see here it just tells you it's 10 cents. Okay, so this is generally the way to do it. So you can do all sorts of stuff with this. So let me I didn't realize the setting thing was still up here. Sorry, let me remove that. Okay, so that's how to set these up, and you can see they look and trade just like normal charts, right? So except they don't take into account the time factor. Okay, so we can do all sorts of stuff with these, right? We can do our regular price action things, right? We can set channels on it. Right, we could look for breakouts right here. That channel, you can see this Renko chart goes up. So in this area, we'll talk more about strategies this week. The idea is here, right? Go long, right, off of that, and then just go hold it until the Renkos are turned red, right? So there you get a nice 2 Renko move off of that one, right? So same thing with other switches, right? So this combined with other tools, right? You could go to say like the daily chart, right, and be like, okay, or just a higher time frame, right, or a higher area on these. And look at those, right? So let's go time frames here. This shows 2 days, right? You can go to the maybe a 30-day chart right here, right? You can kind of see how these hold, right? So it uses maximum time on this. So here on 30 days, right? The average, the ATR is 75 cents, so it uses these here, right? So going into the day, right? On say on Friday, right, we can see here that, right, it was bullish here in the morning, right? So at this point here, you can use that this range right here to be like, hey, I'm bullish on this. Or so let's just say the end of the day on Thursday, right? This is obviously, macro time frame, very, very bullish, right? So if you go to the 2-day chart here, and you go to the end of the day on Thursday, here, right, we saw that it was bullish at the end of the day, and at this point here, we would look for breakout moves on the Renko charts, right? So it could, like I said, there's a lot of different strategies you can use. You could use breakouts over pivots, right? You could say like this level right here was a nice breakout, right? So that was your Renko move up, right? This one right here broke out of, say a downward trend line right here on the Renkos, and that worked its way up. Just lots of different techniques that can be used. We'll talk about a couple other strategies that help with that, but generally I just wanted to define these and show you how they play out. And I think the biggest concept, the hardest concept to wrap around is that how it doesn't incorporate time, it just incorporates price, right? It just cares about the range during these periods. Okay, and you can see that here, how nice this is. It tunes out a lot of the noise. It's very, very clear that this is going up. Whereas on Thursday, if we go to a regular chart, and let's go ahead and pull that up here, time axis, we'll switch this back over to time, and go back to Thursday, right, the 27th. Let's go here. So you can see how clear it was, like to the upside on those charts, right? But here it looks a little bit different, right? We're moving our way up. The Renko is up really nicely, but a lot of times these pullbacks, right, won't necessarily show up, right? So here you had lots of lower shadows, right? But the Renko didn't care about the lower shadows. And remember this was that pullback channel right here that we broke out of, right? Very, very similar, right? How it got out of those pivots. So it's a good way to kind of clarify things. It takes away a lot of the noise, the upper shadows, lower shadows, and kind of keeps us from worrying about what's going on with the candles and gives kind of a consistent move just based on the price range that things are going. Okay, so hopefully that was relatively clear. And this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about more strategies, some different tools that are used with Renkos, and I think you guys will like it. And it's a good way if you guys don't like dealing with the intraday price action of candles and trying to interpret what's going on with price there. It's a great way just to kind of keep the charts nice, clean, and clear. So good stuff. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we could all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow and another awesome trading week. So good stuff. All right. So A, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend too. Yeah. So Apple, right? So Apple. So Apple. Get a little bit of tea here. So Apple finished with an inside day on Friday, right? So pretty cool stuff, and it's already done its stock split. Oh, what happened to 500? Oh, it's split, right? So tomorrow it's going to be opened up in this 124, 125ish range. If it gets up a little more, who knows? It could be 126, et cetera, et cetera. But this should be interesting, right? So statistically, Apple tends to, after a split, tends to move up within the first 2 days after a split, and then after 10 days, it tends to pull back down, right, before it starts to kind of work its way again. Again, those are just statistics. We'll see. It's all about the price action right here. So let's see how it handles the inside day levels and where we go from there on Apple. But again, I'm really happy about Apple being here. We'll see if they try to rip it up, to the upside on that one. I'm just liking it because hopefully the option premiums will be a lot better, and hopefully the spreads will be better too, right? It was starting to get kind of expensive up there, so that's good stuff. So yeah, looking pretty bullish. Could be a flag, could be a pennant right here. Nice kind of triangle action inside day on Friday. And then Square, let's take a look. Yep, so Square, again, getting really, really tight, compressed up here. It's holding the 80 MA on that one. I'd like to see it kind of push over these highs to maybe give a move on that one, see if we can get some volume in there. Baba. Big inside day on this one. Had a strong day here. Again, it's getting pretty tight in these ranges right here. Remember, this 289 area was where we thought we might max out. But again, if it works its way up, we still have a 1.618 retracement from this triangle level, right? And we also put our symmetrical flag extension up here too, to about the 302 area on Baba. So let's see if that inside day up could get things going, if it can take it up. So that'd be great. It looks like some good China data overnight too, so we'll see how that holds. What else? Alma, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend too. Thanks, hey. Yeah, hey, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at silver. Okay, so silver had quite a little spike tonight, didn't it? After hours, look at that. Boom. So I guess it likes inflation. So silver had an inside doji day on Friday. Let's see if we can kind of get above this 26 level and give us a push up on the silver. And then AMD, looking pretty interesting. Lots of inside days on Friday. Right, so inside day on Friday right here. Let's see if we can get over these levels and try to work its way back up to retest the all-time highs and possibly get through it. Docu, big upper shadow off of that one, so tried to take an inside day up on Friday and came back in the range. It's a little bit bearish right here, right? Again, it could work its way down, test 50% of the range of this candle right here, and also try to test the bottom of that inside candle. Okay, so it rejected the inside day up on that one, so that's definitely one to keep an eye on. AVGO. ABGO with an inside day up and increased volume, looking pretty good right here. I'm going to add that to the bullish radar for Monday. So nice find on that one. Give me 1 second. Let me get that pulled up here. Monday already. Let's take a look. Monday. Yeah, Apple, we'll put on the list. Tesla, and then AVGO. That looks pretty good. Good. Lots of orbs on Friday. There we go. Good. All right, we'll see how that goes going tomorrow. Nice find on that one. Good. Thank you, Alma. All right, so Shirley sent a few in via email, and once again, always keep Shirley your thoughts and prayers doing better every day. Okay, so BlackBerry, pretty interesting. Took the inside day up with increased volume on this one, so a little bit of an upper shadow on that one. We'll see if it can kind of break out of that range right there. I like the volume that was coming there, so see if we can break above those highs. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Again, super bullish, right, till proven otherwise on this one. Again, holding multiple trend lines here. Just super bullish mode on that one. Big candle, big volume. It's coming up on ex-dividend, but just a huge candle on Friday. Very, very nice stuff there. Win. Okay, again, these names are kind of like our... the usual suspects, right, for the whole Corona move, right? The more Corona gets cured, the more like these, the casinos, the cruise lines, the restaurants, the airlines, right? They really tend to perk up on that type of news. So we've been seeing a lot of that good stuff coming out there, right? So it broke out of the cloud. I like the increased volume right here. It looks like it could try to work its way up to the 200-day moving average on that one. Then Piton, I like how it got out of the triangle too. Pete's on again, super bullish, right? So big move on Friday. Left you with an upper shadow on Friday, but again, keep an eye on it. Still bullish. Let's see if dips are buyable on that one. And then SPLK. SPLK, okay after earnings, right? Gapped up, kind of filled the gap, came back up, upper shadow right here, couldn't close above that prior high. Just kind of see if it can kind of build from there. It's a tricky one, especially on the day trade side. Good stuff. Well, Dylan sent a few in via Twitter, so we're just going to go ahead and check those out here. So we got Etsy. Yep, nice follow through the downside on that one. I think we had that on the bearish radar the other day. Looking good so far. Eyeing that 50-day moving average. Triple M. Looking pretty good. I like how it's breaking out of the bull flag right here. Increased volume. Definitely want to keep an eye on there on the bullish side. Mosaic, yeah, nice move on that one. Double inside day up. Nice volume on that one too. So looking pretty good there. IWM. Still getting tight in here, guys. IWM could be gearing up for a move. So definitely want to keep an eye on there. RKT. Getting started, looking like a bull flag right here. Coming up on earnings. Let's see if we can give us a little bit of an earnings run on that one. Again, biggest mortgage company, basically in the country. So, and we've also had a lot of increased mortgage applications. So, they could be doing okay. And we're seeing a lot of home buying still going up too. So, RKT might be interesting. They might have a good news on that one. JP Morgan, big day on Thursday, right? Huge day on Thursday. Nice pause day here on Friday. Let's see if that gets any more upside on that one. And of course, silver we just looked at too. So, let's see. It had an inside doji there. Let's see if we can get over that 26 level and give a pop for us on silver. So good stuff. Royal, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, let's take a look at Nunex. So Nunex is a cloud name, guys. I keep on thinking it's like a pet pharma company or something like that. But anyway, it always sounds like that. But yeah, huge day on Friday, right? It's coming into this big open gap right here. So let's see if that gets some push to the upside on that one. Let's take a look at work. So work's looking pretty good too. It was basically like a spinning top up here. I like how the spinning top closed above the 50-day moving average, got some follow through the cloud. Just watch the cloud on that one for possible resistance on that. Roku had a huge day on Friday as well. Big breakout, right? Inside day up. I kind of left with an upper shadow on that one, but it did finally get to all-time highs. It finally got out of this nasty congestion zone right here. So let's see if, I wouldn't be surprised if Roku just kind of, flags up here for a little bit and then maybe tries to make another move. Let's see how that goes. And then CRWD. Yeah, bit of a spinning top right here, so upper shadow. So just a little caution on that one. I might want to come back, test the ADMA or test that prior geometric line. So good stuff there. Kim, what's going on? I hope you had a wonderful weekend too. Thanks for tuning in. APPS. Digital Turbine. So came back up, retested the ADMA on that one with some volume, so just see how that holds. Maybe we can get above it. RKT, yep, looking I like the bull flag heading into earnings. So might get a little bit of an earnings run, so that's coming up this week. And then Nike, inside to outside to inside day. Yep, inside, outside, inside day. So let's see if we can take direction after that. A little bit of decreased volume on that, but it's holding the 80 on that one. Maybe to the moon on Nike. I mean, this is not a huge momentum mover, but definitely had some nice strong moves recently after the Foot Locker earnings. So good stuff on that one. The Nast, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you are well. Let's take a look at Vroom, 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 vroom. So working its way up right here. So just kind of nasty pullback on Friday. Again, a lot of low volume on this one. Holding the ADMA on that one, so that's good. Roku. Again, big push there on Friday. Inside day up. Let's see how it holds, right? If the market's super duper strong going into tomorrow, let's see if we can push above those highs for another move. SE, again, inside day on this one, so it's still kind of holding up in there. Let's see if it can try to push back over those highs. Regeneron. Regeneron with a doji reversal on that one back below the ADMA. See how it holds the cloud bottom as a potential support area. FSLY, crazy within the trend box right here. So it's coming back up and retesting the upper trend line. It was rejected on Thursday. Then it left you with an inside day on Friday. So let's see what it holds those levels. AYX, again, loving this one, right? So I love how it broke out of this consolidation here after earnings. I love how it broke out here. Got a nice follow through. Now it's struggling with the 200-day. So an inside day on there. It basically did its job. SDNE broke out and got to the 200. That was its first job. One job. All right. STNA inside day up, still holding the ADMA on that one. Melly. Yeah, kind of drifting down a little bit there. Big volume there below the ADMA. Definitely something to keep an eye on that one on the short side. We'll add that to the bearish radar. Looks bearish. Not one I typically trade, but it's definitely one to just kind of anybody who does like to trade. It does look pretty bearish. Let's see how that goes. And then we had Etsy on the bearish radar on Friday, so we don't want to repeat that right now, but still looking bearish on that one too. Twilio, big upper shadow there of the prior fib fan line, so kind of coming back in that congestion range right there. And then Kron. So yeah, so a lot of the pot names were pretty strong on Friday too. So big sector on that one. Good candle, good volume. Got over the 80 MA. Let's see if it's trying to curl its way up on that. So good stuff there. And then PSNL. Personnel's inside day on that one, still holding trend. So looking cool on that one. So good. Yeah, weekly setting up nice. Let's take a look. I know you mentioned it the other day. Yeah, inside week here. Let's see if we can pop off of that. I like how it's holding the upward trend line on that. Very, very nice. And then Okta. Another software name on this one. Let's see. See how it's looking right there. Ooh, nasty move on that one. Inside day down on that. Filled the gap and then worked its way back down. Let's see if we can hold that 50-day in the cloud as potential support. Good stuff. J-Moss, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at save. Getting really tight in here, right? So holding the cloud on that one. Again, the more good Corona news, the better on this stuff, right? So let's see if we can break out of that geometric line right here. Really kind of working on a tight, triangle type here. Let's see if we can break out of one of those areas with some volume on that one. Low. Yeah, it's a little disappointing, right? So it was looking like it was going to do the hurricane run on that one, but Laura was kind of a letdown for the hurricane run followers, right? So low kind of pulled back right there. It's looking interesting. I think it's strong overall based on some of the weekly moves. Let's see how it holds the 80 MA if this becomes a buyable dip. Maybe it's a low volume fake out to the downside. Microsoft, one of our favorites coming in from last week, right? I love the Jack in the Box right here. I love how it's an inside day in the upper range high and a big weekly candle last week. So let's see if it could break out above there. And maybe this is like basically like a doji sandwich up on Microsoft. Looking pretty strong right there. And then good stuff. Thanks, J-Moss. Ken, what's going on? Good weekend. Yeah, let's take a look at Walmart. What's going on with Walmart? Okay, so Walmart, right, trying to buy TikTok with Microsoft. So apparently TikTok is not going to allow to be sold by China, right, until they give the go-ahead or whatever the case is. So that any of these names that have been moving a lot on TikTok, watch this one. Watch Oracle, right? I'm going to actually put Oracle on the bearish radar for tomorrow just based on that news. Walmart may pull back on that one as well. So I know Microsoft is involved as well, but we'll see how that holds. It's got a much stronger daily chart. So it looks like a hanging man on Walmart. In fact, I'm going to put Walmart on the list too, just because of the hanging man. Okay? So let's see how that goes with that one. Yeah, so we'll see how that holds. Good. And Microsoft, again, same thing, right? So Microsoft, super duper strong, right? I do like the inside day on Friday. So let's just see if we could break out to the upside on that one with the general market strength. Going into tomorrow, and then AMD getting really, really tight up here, right? Inside day, let's see if we can break itself out up, try to catch up to like the Nvidia type move, and maybe get out of this this double top looking right here. It's almost looking like an M top right there. So hopefully you can take out those levels. If not, it might try to see some more downside on it. So good stuff there. Anke, what's going on? Good evening. I hope you're well. Yeah, let's take a look at ZI. Whew. Yeah, I mean, inside day right there, it was looking like a bear flag, an invisible bear flag right here, so it kind of came back up, retested some of those levels, right, and it might be working its way down. See if it takes the inside day down on that one. AYX, a good breakout of the range on that one, right, inside day kind of came back down off of that. Now it's really got to close over the 200-day. Boeing, again, getting super, super duper tight, right, big triangle range, stuck in the cloud. Moving averages are flat. Let's see if we can break out with some volume. It needs some good news. Right? Or some bad news. I mean, either way, it needs some news. Get going. Let's go. Right? So, Goldman Sachs, again, the banks were trying to be strong the other day. At least JP Morgan gave a nice little gift horse gap on that one. Goldman Sachs came back and is back in the cloud, but it is holding the 80 MA on that one. And Target. So, looking pretty interesting here, too, right? So, a pullback here to the 80 MA. I believe we have an inside week, right? So, let's keep an eye on that on Target. So, looking pretty good there. Thanks, Ankit. Bagish, what's going on? I hope you are well. Yeah, UPS. Yeah, good one. FedEx was really strong, too, the other day. I like how UPS is starting to break out of here with some volume. Really like how it's working its way above that candle right there. Definitely one to keep on the radar. And I'm sure weekly chart, inside week up so far, so from last week. So let's see how that holds. ABT, Abbott Laboratories. So pretty interesting right there. Big gap up on that one. Let's see how that holds. Ulta, earnings last Friday. Right? So what did we talk about last week, right? It gapped up here. This is where we thought it was going to gap. It was rejected, right? So we didn't get a gap and go. We could not get above this pivot level. So it was an ideal reversal, right? So here's where we thought it was going to gap. We talked about if it can't get over these levels, and certainly if it can't get over the pre-market levels, it's a good candidate for a reversal. Left here with an upper shadow right here, pushed down, and then was just kind of flat for the rest of the day. So big reversal on that one, big open gap below. Be careful with Ulta. It might kind of work its way back down on that one to try to fill that gap. And W day. Now this was mostly a gap and go on this one, but it was a pretty big gap, right? So it did give a nice push on the at the opening candle, pullback, nice viable pullback on that one, got back to the 15-orb high. One of the big deals with this one, right, is that it really struggled, to kind of get above its initial candle on that one. So a little bit tricky on W day, but a huge gap up on that. Lots of call activity on it before earnings. Not saying they knew anything, but anyway, good stuff. Bob, yeah, sorry about that. Was down for a minute on that one. Just saw it, but thank you for the update on that. Baggage. So some of the double inside days to watch. Excuse me. No, Netflix is important. Netflix is a really important one. These are all big names, right? So Netflix, super duper important. Double inside day, getting really tight. Keep an eye on those levels tomorrow. Gonna be important. Adobe, double inside day too, looking good, right in the middle of the range. Google, same thing. Double inside day on this one as well. Very important up here, looking like a pennant. mRNA, this is a little bit of a trickier one to trade right here, kind of biotech right here, and it's kind of in the middle of this falling wedge, and it's below the cloud, so a little tricky with that one. But yeah, Netflix is definitely on the radar. And then CYBR. Yeah, kind of interesting. This is not one I typically trade. Lots of gaps and stuff like that, but definitely want to keep an eye on if the software sector is strong. Heather, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're well. Yeah, Apple should be very interesting to trade tomorrow. I'm very excited to see it. I hope the option prices are reasonable, right? I like how they redid the whole split thing with the chart right here. Like this is like not gapping down. So that's kind of cool. And opening up at we're kind of at this 124. Just banging my toe on the desk. Apple here, inside day on that one. So let's see if we can break out one way or the other on that. So good stuff. Kalani, Hawaii, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Aloha. So I just had mahi today. It was delicious. Reminded me of Hawaii. Eventual headquarters for positive trends. Amazon. Yep, inside day on Amazon. So let's see how that holds right here. Let's see if we can get an inside day up and kind of break that out to the upside. Rohit, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Tracy, good evening. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Let's take a look at Chegg. Chegg. I think you guys asked for that just for that. Yeah, Chegg, definitely a weak day there. Low volume, could be a low volume fake out. Kind of holding some support levels right here. You got the cloud right there, so just be careful with that as a potential short. TTD. Let's see if they try to buy the dip on. TTD didn't really move too much, but kind of keep an eye on it too. If the software sector is strong, it could be interesting. And Etsy looking pretty weak right here. It was on our bearish radar, bearish game plan on Friday, right? It worked its way down pretty nicely. Now it's kind of putting a lower shadow here. It filled the gap. It does have another gap right here, which is right below the 50 days. So if it gets weak, it's definitely one to still keep an eye on, right? And CRM. Guys, this is one that has some potential. I'm expecting it to make a bit of a pullback, and then that pullback be viable, right? So if you go to here, right? If you go to this trend line right here, I'm expecting to kind of like pull back to this trend line and look for a bounce. So that might be around like 255 on that one. So kind of keep an eye on that inside day, but to see how the levels hold, it could still break out that inside day high. But that's where if I'm going to buy a pullback, I want to see it pull back to that trend line for possibly an intraday trade on that. So looking good. Sure, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at what we got. So good evening. Yeah, let's take a look. We got Boeing. Yep, Boeing super duper tight in the triangle on that one. JP Morgan, again, we liked how it was breaking out the other day. We like how it gave a little gift horse gap up. I do like how it's holding those levels, and might be a pause day. So let's see if the banks can be strong tomorrow. SPY. Again, just bullish till proven otherwise on this one, right? So I mean the overall trend line on SPY, right, is super duper bullish right there. So again, holding the 8 EMA, holding the upper trend line on that. So let's see if that can continue to push. Again, future is super bullish tonight too. And then Twitter. Let's take a look at Twitter. It's Twitter double inside day. Baggage, that's cool. Double inside day on Twitter. That's looking pretty cool. Let me get these on the radar as well. Let's see. Double inside day. I'm just gonna put Netflix and Twitter on here. Those look pretty cool. Okay, nice find on Twitter. Good stuff. Let's see if this can break out. Rohit, yeah, Boeing. Definitely. Really tight. Just waiting for some news one way or the other. Some sort of breakout on this thing, right? Otherwise, it just chops. It does give some nice intraday moves, but daily charts is kind of blah. Right? Zoom, big doji up there, right? Let's see if it turns into a doji reversal, or if it wants to do, another push to the upside on that one, sort of like the SPX did the other day. So good stuff. John, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yep, Netflix, perfect. Double inside day. Let's see how that holds. Let's see if we can break out of those levels. I love it. Anki, yeah, Facebook. So Facebook's looking pretty interesting too. Again, like I said, guys, lots of inside days. This is on an inside day on Thursday. It failed to break down on that inside day. It came back in the range. So now let's see if it can try to work its way up and test the inside day high. Good stuff. Yeri, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Bank of America. America. Yeah, so a lot of these ones, this one gave a gift horse gap too, is one of the better ones. This one and JP Morgan were good on Thursday. Nice follow through on that one. It is holding those prior levels, so let's see if it turns into a pause day and works its way back up on that. Let's take a look at NEO. Yeah, so NEO looking a little interesting right here. If it breaks down Friday's lows, right, we got a gap fill right here. If it holds, it's got some work to do to kind of get its way back up there. Let's see what kind of action we get on Tesla tomorrow after the split, and see where it goes from there, and see if we can get some sympathy moves on it. Coke with a big breakout on that one on Friday to get to the 200-day. That's nice. And then PFE. Okay, down move right there. And came back in the range off of the inside day, so let's see if that holds, but still under the 80 MA on that one, so caution on that one. I don't think anybody's asked about Tesla, so Tesla's already showing $400 again from 2000, right? So at a rough day on Friday, let's see if that can kind of follow the trend of Apple's trend and maybe make a move up right here. Let's see if everybody wants to pile into this one to push this one up. We'll see how that goes. Definitely keep Tesla on your radar for tomorrow too. John, yeah, Netflix, we got, let's take FSLY. Again, it's kind of in its big trend box right here. The key thing on this one, right, is the upper trend line. Right, it tagged it here and reversed off it. Now you have an inside day here. If it breaks up again, watch that as potential resistance. It needs to get over that and close above it, ideally with some volume. Shams, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you are well. Yeah, let's take a look at Chewy. Yeah, so one of Buddy's favorites right here, right, is he got his buying on Friday, right? Big volume right here. Broke out of this geometric level again, right? And gave a really, really nice push up there. A little bit of a pullback at the end of the day with that upper shadow. So let's just see if that can continue to hold on that. And XPEV, let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so big inside day after earnings. Let's see if we can break out of those levels when we're on this one. Nice electric vehicle, competitor type thing. So good stuff. Yeah, very, very new. But again, we've done a whole series on IPOs. So if you didn't get to catch that one, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and check out our playlist. We did a whole series on IPOs. So hopefully you can check that out too. Well, good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's a cool topic talking about Renkos this week. We'll go through some more strategies and some other ideas. I think you guys will like it. S. Sumit, what's going on? Let's take a look. What you got there? S. Silver, yeah, big pop tonight. Let's see if we can take that inside day up on tomorrow. Docu, again, we looked at it a little bit earlier, but again, inside day up and then reverse back in. It might want to test 50% of Thursday's range or the bottom of it if it gets really weak, right? And then XLP. Right, so your super stable still strong on that one, right? Nice hammer on that. Let's see if that holds, right? Otherwise, if it breaks down, maybe it was a hanging man. But good stuff there. I like how it's holding the 88 MA on that one. So generally pretty bullish till proven otherwise. So good stuff. Heather, yeah, my pleasure. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. We go live every market night and talk about cool technical concepts and answer questions and do chart requests. So, QDEL with a buy the dip. Let's take a look. Oh, yes, there we go. So we had that big hammer the other day. Didn't quite break out there. Let's see if we can get above that range and try to push up and fill that gap. So that would be nice. So good stuff, guys. All right, well, like I said, guys, if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, definitely hit the like button. It goes a long way. I really appreciate it. So good stuff. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk